Wrestling Kennection.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and wrestling fanatics alike. Welcome to the latest edition of the Wrestling Connection. I am your host, your connection to the wrestling world, Ken Hill, and as always, alongside me is the madman of wrestling himself, Zach Martinkus.
What up, everybody? Triple M in the house.
Indeed. This week, ladies and gentlemen, we are a mere 9 days away from the biggest event of them all, the granddaddy of them all, WrestleMania 30, New Orleans, and things have just been heating up this past week.
Yep.
We go into this week. We go into this week in review. One Mr. John Cena facing off with a member of the Wyatt family and Luke Harper.
Yep.
Seemed like Cena was zeroing on his usual comeback win. The lights go out. Next thing you know, lights come back on. And Cena's surrounded by the Wyatt family, just strung up on the second rope in a sheet mask.
Yeah, which I didn't get what I got with the angle where they were going on that though, but just wow, they made him look ridiculous. I mean, I know there's the term though, making somebody's you know what, but yeah, the Wyatt family, they basically made John Cena that. They made him as you know what. But yeah, just John Cena really needs to get his mindset out of the gutter and remember what Edge said to him a couple years ago when he faced Brock Lesnar. You know, where's the Cena that brought me to the edge, that beat me in my own match?
Right.
Which
is something that we're gonna bring up in my edition of Ken Zen later on. You have someone special you'd like to call for the Zack Attack later.
Yep.
Now, before we continue on, ladies and gentlemen, bit of a serious note. I did make a bit of a verbal faux pas last week at the top of last week's show. I just like to go on record. I apologize. It was a slip of the tongue. I got caught up in a moment. I just want to let him know I apologize for the error, and hopefully we can continue on, and I'll be more aware of myself in the future.
Yeah, I'll probably speak for all the fans, man. I'll say it was a slip up. It was a slip up. We all do that sometimes, man. But you know what, though, man, we forgive you, dude.
Thank you. All right, now continuing on the rest of Raw, we had Triple H's interesting in-ring sit-down interview with Michael Cole.
Yeah.
Where he actually made a very few interesting points. Like, essentially, he said he was done being the good guy, finally. He was done, like, trying to acquiesce to the fans. He was just tired of people coming up to him and complaining about how he was running his business, complaining about how this guy's not getting pushed, how this guy has been champion, how you're coddling Randy Orton, how you're supporting this guy, why are you bringing this guy back, why are you not, just essentially he was tired of it all, and he started what he calls the reality era of WWE, of professional wrestling.
Oh my gosh!
So essentially, where he's not going to pull any more punches, and the point he also made, which Batista called him out on on SmackDown this week, was that Triple H wouldn't be where he is without Stephanie McMahon. And while it is true, it's reality. I mean, if Triple H hadn't married into the McMahon family, who knows where he'd be today?
Right.
But the thing is, the reality is, he's married to Stephanie.
Yep.
He's in the McMahon family.
Yep.
And now the reality that he told Batista that superstars should really be worried about is what Triple H could do with that kind of power.
And you're right. I mean, just look what happened with Daniel Bryan last week on Raw. I mean, I'm giving Daniel props though for what he did though. He took over Raw, but later the following week, he kicked the devil and bejesus out of him, and it just goes to show you don't cross the boss. Now, true, there's been a lot of people over the years that have done the same thing, against Ms. McMahon, but Vince McMahon wasn't a wrestler. He was an announcer in the very beginning. Triple H, on the other hand, he's a wrestler.
He's been a wrestler. He's been a wrestler all his life. And
Right.
here's the thing: when we saw Triple H beat the bejesus out of Bryan the week before, like I said last week, that was the Triple H of old. That was
Yeah.
the Triple H circa 2002, circa Evolution.
Yep.
Even when he feuded with Brock Lesnar, we saw the Triple H of old, just
Come into fruition.
beating Bryan pillar to post. We essentially saw the old Triple H come back, not the suit-wearing one, not even the click member of Triple H. We just saw the cerebral assassin. We saw the game Triple H, the King of Kings, come pretty much reemerge, make itself known. So it just adds a new wrinkle to their match at WrestleMania.
Oh, definitely.
And it begs, I mean, he says that, okay, what's best for business is going to be if I'm world champion. And he's pretty much making his intentions known now. He's going to be the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. If he has to be the one to steer the ship and be its champion at the same time, he'll do it. He's making no bones about it, which I frankly is for the best. Okay, no more smoke and mirrors, no more throwing the Shield or the Wyatt in Superstars ways. If he's going to do something, if he's going to take something, if he's going to take care of something
into his own hands.
Exactly what he said last week to what he said to Batista and to Orton. The old man, Vince McMahon was right. If you're going to take care of things, you got to do it yourself.
Right.
So, frankly, I like that this side has Triple H has come out. He's finally chosen his side.
Right.
He's finally made it known he's the corrupt corporate executive. He's the man in charge. He has officially cemented himself as the Vince McMahon of this era. He did that this past Monday.
Oh yeah, and I was thinking about this though too. I mean, should Triple H be part of the triple threat? That really would be interesting because if you think about it, 3 members of Evolution, they all face each other. When have you ever seen that? Never.
It's never happened. And Batista brought up another good point. In the matches that they've faced each other in throughout the years, I mean, Triple H and Orton have had a storied rivalry.
Yep.
But the rivalry between Triple H and Batista, shockingly one-sided.
Right.
In all their marquee matches, dating back to 2005 when they first faced off at WrestleMania,
Yeah.
Triple H has never beaten Batista one-on-one.
Yeah, that's
he
the truth.
He couldn't do it at WrestleMania.
Nope.
He couldn't do it the next month at Backlash,
Yep.
and even at Vengeance in Triple H's signature match,
Hell
which
in
he
a
had been
Cell.
previously undefeated in Hell in a Cell. Batista beat him soundly.
Yeah, and then not to mention though too, that was I actually looked this up online. That was considered one of the most bloodiest and brutal matches ever. The top 10 though, that got listed as one of the top ones though, if not the number 1, which that wasn't a surprise at all to me because I watched that a couple times and it's just like, wow, that's going over the limit. That is like.
And again, that's the Triple H we've seen. Now, he did something interesting. He called out Batista on SmackDown, saying he hasn't been the animal that we've seen in past years. He wasn't the Batista that beat the crap out of Cena. He wasn't the Batista that beat Triple H those 3 times in 2005,
right?
Or beat Orton, or just dominated SmackDown from 2005 to 2008. No, this hasn't been the same Batista.
No, basically the Batista that's coming, that's been around for since the Royal Rumble. It's basically back to the rivalry that led up to him and John Cena back at WrestleMania 26. We're seeing this side again. I mean, come on. Seriously, we don't want this version of it. Like you said, man, where's the dominated version of that?
Where's the guy who steamrolled through Mark Henry when he came back from his bicep injury,
right?
From his pectoral injury? Who's the guy that, it's like I said, dominated SmackDown in the World Heavyweight Championship picture for years?
You're right.
And so I mean, we haven't seen it. I mean, Sheamus gave him a hard time on SmackDown this week, and he had to take the low road out with a steel chair. When was the last time you seen Batista take a shortcut for anything?
Oh, it's very true. I mean, I don't know. I might interject with that though, because like I said, back when I was leading up to WrestleMania 26, the only time he really kind of took a little bit of a shortcut, was taking advantage of a beaten, battered John Cena, who just defended his WWE Championship inside the Elimination Chamber, and just what happens? Vince McMahon deliberately gives him a WWE title shot even after, John Cena's beaten and battered, to the point where he's all bloody up and whatnot. And
so it remains to be seen whether we'll actually see the animal reemerge at WrestleMania.
Right.
Now, going from someone who hasn't made as much an impact as we thought upon his return, there's another superstar, a veteran superstar, not unlike Batista, even a few years older,
right,
who has made a big impact since his return and has just wowed people with how improved he's been over the years.
Oh, no, yeah.
And this is the man that's going to be in our superstar highlight, Goldust.
Okay.
So this week we highlight the second generation star, the bizarre one, Goldust, i.e. known as Dustin Rhodes.
Yep.
The son of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, if you will. A two-time Intercontinental Champion,
yep,
two-time Tag Team Champion.
Yep.
Now, his heyday was during the Attitude Era,
yep,
where essentially he was known for just psyching out superstars in a number of bizarre ways. Just the way he would dress, the way he would speak, just freaking out superstars and capitalizing, picking up big victories. I mean, he feuded with the likes of Shawn Michaels, Triple H, The Undertaker, Big Van, Vader, Razor Ramon, even beating the most recent inductee into the Hall of Fame, beating Razor Ramon at one point for the Intercontinental Championship, and kind of disappeared for a little while. But then he came back.
Yep.
Into 2002. Formed this bizarre tag team with the five-time.
It's the six-time.
Six-time.
Well, was at the time it was a five-time, but
WCW, and now six-time World Heavyweight Champion Booker T. Formed one of the most bizarre, unique, and surprisingly successful tag teams.
Yeah,
of that year. They were the most entertaining.
Yep.
Their segments were hilarious.
Yep.
I loved them as a tag team. But then after that, he just he faded into the mid card. He didn't really do anything. He left WWE after a few years, went down to TNA for a cup of coffee.
Yep.
Then came back to WWE for a year or so. Then vanished again. He's always had a troublesome history in terms of family, in terms of issues concerning drugs and the like.
Yep.
But then he made his return in late 2013 to avenge his younger brother, Cody Rhodes,
yep,
a fellow superstar who had gotten released by Triple H and the Authority. And he challenged the WWE champion Randy Orton to a match where if he beat Orton, his brother would be rehired.
Right.
So he was defending his family's honor. And I wasn't sure what to expect from that match. But when we saw Goldust take on Orton, I don't know what to expect. He put on a hell of a match.
Exactly.
And that's what shocks me. You had someone like Gold, and then further on, once both he and Cody were fully reinstated into WWE after a triumphant match over the Shield at WWE Battlegrounds.
Yep.
They not only won the tag team championships from the Shield, but then you would see Goldust competing, and then you would see this 40-plus-year-old,
which we have covered over numerous times.
We've covered before. Doing Hurricane Ranas, flipping sentons out of the ring, suicide dives.
Yep.
I mean, this guy is Goldust has never looked better. He looked better than he did in 2002.
Yep.
He certainly looked better when he came back a few years ago.
Yeah.
He looks slimmer, he looks faster, and he's just been just as bizarre and just as entertaining.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to do the impersonation, but I'm sorry. I had to do that at least one time, and I hope no one disses me for that.
No one blames him. Like I said, he has been just as charismatic, just as unusual, and we love him for it.
Amen to that.
Right, but now But now we go from the entertaining to the not so entertaining. So the a flip flopper, someone that who hasn't really been on the radar, someone who's kind of lost his place in WWE as of late, someone that Zack plans on calling out in today's Zack Attack.
We want this boy. Oh man. I can't even keep a straight face after seeing that. Okay. Well, in this week's episode of the Zack Attack, my biggest issue with, though, and actually this has been an issue with over the last couple of years, is none other than Mike the Miz Mizarian. Now, it's been a little bit frustrating, trying to, keep tabs with this idiot, because he goes on and off on being on healed and face and heel. I'm sorry, but this is the same guy who came from the real world and then wasn't tough enough and whatnot. Then he gets introduced to being supposedly into wrestling and whatnot. Okay, buddy. We all get you're married to Maurice and whatnot, and that's the only fortune and fame you're gonna get. That. Yes, you have a little bit of a one-time main event deal at WrestleMania 27 when you beat John Cena. Now, did you forget also, though, that the only reason you beat him was because of The Rock? There you go there, Skippy. You can't take jack for credit, okay? And honestly, if it were me, you would not win at WrestleMania that year. You would, and you would get a little famouser at what I like to call lights out. And you would have your lights out like that there, Skippy. So you know what, man? Go back to the real world and make a dang decision. Are you heel? Are you face? Make a decision. And honestly, man, put up or shut up.
Strong words from the madman himself. Now there's someone that I've been meaning to call out for the last couple of weeks, and in this week's Ken's Den.
Time to step into Ken's Den.
The wolves are a very nice touch. Again, we touched on John Cena and the Wyatt family at the top of the show.
Yep.
But I need to talk to Cena personally. Cena, I have for the last decade, I have watched you, been through so much. I have seen you come up to SmackDown. I saw you channel ruthless aggression in your debut match. Through 2003 through 2004, which was your marquee year as United States champion, when you beat down JBL at WrestleMania and won your first WWE title, when you beat him in a rematch in one of the bloodiest I Quit matches I have ever watched. That was the John Cena I liked. And even when you came over to Raw after, even when you pretty much became the cornerstone of Monday Night Raw for the next 9 years. You turned back every single comer. You had WrestleMania match after WrestleMania match against Shawn Michaels, against Triple H, against Edge, Big Show, against Batista. Two big matches against The Rock, and for the most part, you turned back all comers. You put up instead of shutting up. You came out and you did what you were supposed to do. You took things to the next level every single time. And whether they hated you or whether they loved you, the fans respected you because you came and you knocked doors down. You beat your opponent down until they said, Cena is better than me, I can't take it. They admit that. But now you've run into someone who doesn't really even care about winning, about winning or losing. They just want to break you down piece by piece. And I'm talking about Bray Wyatt. Just like Lesnar broke you down physically, he beat the bejesus out of you. He demolished you. And if it wasn't for one slip up by Lesnar, you would have been beaten. Lesnar would have likely dominated for the rest of the year. If it wasn't for Edge coming out the week before and calling you and saying, I need to see these John Cena of old. The John Cena who took Edge to the limit each and every single time. The John Cena who was Edge's greatest rival in WWE history and beat Edge in his best match, a TLC match, in Edge's hometown. The John Cena who has an edge to him, so to speak. We haven't seen that John Cena. This John Cena is getting strung up and having a freaking sheet mask, being treated like a damn mid-carder. I mean, and this is the guy that he says, if you want to be the future of WWE, you got to go through me. Well, right now, it pretty much looks like a wide open door. I could probably step right on through if this is the way you're going to treat your opponents. This guy, Bray Wyatt, he's breaking you down emotionally,
right,
mentally. You've got to attack him from a different angle. You just can't fight him like you fought everyone else, head on, because I guarantee you he will tear you apart. And this time, unlike Lesnar, he won't stop. He won't stop until you have been absolutely broken down, where there's nothing left of you, in here, or in here. He won't stop. So I'm telling you right now, you need to smarten up. You need to toughen up. Because if you don't, just like Wyatt steamrolled through Big Show on SmackDown this week, he's going to go right through you. And the Wyatt family is going to be reigning supreme. So if you don't want to keep that from happening, then we need to see the John Cena of old. The John Cena that, even though I haven't been the biggest fan of him the last few years, is the John Cena I respect.
Right. And layman's term, man, just put up or shut up.
Right.
That's...
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have some special guests here today for another rollicking segment of the WK Q&A. If you'd like to pan over and introduce our guest panelists.
Hi, my name's Rory.
Come on up.
Thanks.
Forgot about that.
Thanks. Come on. Don't be shy.
All right. If you'd like to take a minute just to introduce yourself to the audience.
All right. Hello, my name is Deshaun Serene. I'm from Brockton. And I wanted to talk to you guys a minute about The Shield. Because The Shield, like, you can honestly say that 2013 was the year of The Shield. They broke down doors. They did what they had to do. They made a stamp on the WWE.
No doubt.
And now we're starting to see the Shield kind of, like, one of them is starting to, like, break apart a little bit, and the other two are trying to form. Seth Rollins had enough. Then we saw them at SmackDown, had pretty much a slapping fight between the two of them. So, but, like, I just want to know, like, in 2014, when the Shield go up against Kane and the Outlaws.
The corporate outlaws.
The corporate outlaws.
Yeah.
The corporate outlaws. Like, what's going to be, like, your expectations for 2014 with the Shield? Like, what's going to be, like...
Well, first of all, I think the Shield could do much better than corporate Kane and the corporate outlaws.
They so can.
I think they could find much better opponents. Possibly a up-and-coming tag team in WWE NXT called the Ascension. I think they would be a better fit for the Shield.
Right.
They're just as agile. They're young. They're aggressive tag team. There's no doubt the Outlaws and Kane aren't aggressive.
Yeah, and plus not so much, ain't they the NXT tag team champs too?
Exactly. The Ascension are the NXT tag team champions in WWE, and I think they would be a better match for the Shield. As far as the Shield going on for the year 2014, after WrestleMania, I don't know. I mean, they've been teasing on and off that Roman Reigns is going to make a big break as a single star.
I haven't seen it.
I mean, we saw it at Survivor Series last year. We saw it at the Royal Rumble.
We saw it at the Royal Rumble,
We've
seen
hints of it.
Yeah.
Right.
But it seems like the Shield
They're basically milking
Shield,
it.
It's actually it seems like the Shield has solidified themselves.
Right.
Seems like they're a unit for the time being. So we'll have to see. I mean, we could see a break at WrestleMania. But I think I foresee the Shield lasting for at least another couple of months. I see them getting their revenge at WrestleMania and then going through Kane and the Outlaws. Then I think we'll see where things go on.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of waiting and seeing. So, and from my view, I mean, like Kenny said, you never know what's gonna happen. They could do this, they could do that. Yeah, it's just a matter of waiting and seeing. And honestly, though, and I've said this before last week, I do believe in the Shield. You got my props for that, you guys.
All right. Now, were there any other questions you'd like?
Yeah, just one more question. Bobby Lashley, my favorite wrestler right now, has made big moves now in TNA. He's back, and he's like looking to make a stamp in TNA with Dixie gone and now MVP taking control. Like, do you see? Like, I honestly see Bobby Lashley getting a world heavyweight title shot at some point, but like, do you guys think? What do you guys? How long do you think it will be before he like challenges for the title?
I think it's interesting that this is our first TNA related question. We haven't talked about TNA at all on this show.
Right. Even though we do keep tabs up with that, though, it's just the first time bringing it up.
So to answer your question, I mean, the thing is, Lashley has just only been back for a couple of weeks. I mean, I don't like to flip flop on this kind of question, but I like to make a solid prediction here. But I think we still need to see what their plans are for Lashley concerning where his future in TNA. If he's going to go after the championship right away, or if they have some side feud ready for him. Like since he's in M&A, we could possibly see him mix up with Samoa Joe. We could see him mix up with Abyss. Maybe we see him mix up with the TNA heavyweight champion Magnus.
Yeah, aka the paper champion.
Right.
The paper champion.
I mean, time will tell. So we'll see where Bobby Lashley will go. I mean, I know it's not much of an answer to your question, but
it's all right.
I think we just need to give it time to see what direction Lashley chooses to go in.
Yeah,
exactly.
During his second time around with TNA.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. That's all the questions I wanted to ask.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, brother.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Now we have a friend of ours returning for a second go around.
Hi, my name's Ori. I have 3 questions. One, what do you think would happen if Triple H loses to Daniel Bryan, but because he is, like you said, the corporate Triple H,
the COO.
COO, do you think that Stephanie will somehow interject Triple H into the match, making it a fatal 4-way?
That's actually
That's actually pretty good.
I would honestly not be surprised.
Oh yeah,
Because I mean, if you want to put even more odds against Daniel Bryan, why not have 3 of the 4 former members of Evolution going up against him for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship?
Right.
At this point, I wouldn't put it past Stephanie. I wouldn't put it past Triple H to have himself interjected, despite having lost to Daniel Bryan.
I wouldn't be surprised that happens.
All right. My second question is, what do you predict in the future, mainly 2014, for Bully Ray, formerly known as Brother Ray?
As Brother Ray in TNA.
Oh man.
It's interesting because, I mean, the whole Aces and Eights storyline went on way too long, kind of dragged along. Didn't really help elevate Bully Ray as a heavyweight champion. I think he would have been better off on his own as the proverbial lone wolf. But now that he's come out as the quote unquote hero, having gotten rid of Dixie Carter.
Hallelujah, Yankee Doodle.
Hallelujah from TNA Wrestling. Thank God.
Mm-hmm.
So, and now he's kind of mirrored in a feud with Bobby Roode, which should be interesting because we don't know if this is supposed to be a reemergence of Bobby Roode or it's supposed to be an advancement for Bully Ray. These two guys are kind of at a crossroads.
Right.
Like, I think whoever wins here between Bully Ray and Bobby Roode will kind of like decide the direction in terms of who like challenges for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, because you've got two very viable former champions in Bully Ray, in Bobby Roode. So it should be interesting to see what happens with them in the coming weeks.
All right.
Yeah.
And lastly, with another TNA question, with Willow, formerly Jeff Hardy, what do you?
Still Jeff Hardy.
Well,
I don't care what you say, though. He still.
what do you predict, or after the Magnus EC3 and Rockstar Spud feud?
Honestly, I think Jeff is really channeling a little too much of Crow Sting here in WCW. I mean, look, and this is kind of another small call out here. Jeff, you've been Jeff Hardy for like your entire life. Trust me, cut the Willow crap. Just be Jeff Hardy. Do what you do best. Do swantons. Do whispers in the wind. All right. The last time you tried anything outside of the risk taker, of the charismatic enigma, it bombed. Your heel turn, 2011, bombed. Pretty much any time you've ever been anything else other than a risk-taking, death-defying face, it is blown up in your face. So trust me on this. Get rid of the Willow crap. Just go back to being Jeff Hardy and do what you do best. Excite the crowds and make random teenage girls scream for absolutely no reason.
Well, I'm gonna disagree with you on that, man. I like the Willow concept. Like, as weird as this, you know what though? I'm gonna totally disagree with you on that. Because you know what though? As weird as Willow is, I'm not even kidding. I listen to the crud out of his theme song like There's No Tomorrow every single day, and you know, I don't care like whether he goes as either Willow, Jeff Hardy, it doesn't matter. I got inspired to want to become, actually, from his song Similar Creatures, that made me, just by me hearing that though, that made me become the hardcore enigma. That, he inspired me. And heck, on his theme song in Willow's Way, I sent him a copy of a poem that I wrote in dedication of it, the cry of the dying breed. He liked it. Well, I mean, I don't know if he really liked it or not, though. But I hope, Jeff Hardy, I hope the guy you like that, man, because you inspired me to do that. And honestly, you're my inspiration to want to become, you know, the crazy hardcore enigma himself. So, honestly, dude, whatever angle Jeff Hardy or Willow, I'm sorry, I love the concept of it. And Willow's wave, we will follow.
And thank you for your time.
No problem, man.
Thank you, Warren. We'd like to thank all our guests for coming in today with all these big questions.
Mm-hmm.
That is the end of our show. Actually, ladies and gentlemen, to close out the show, we have a What a Maneuver segment that got a little bit too physical for my taste, but
yeah, again, I'm sorry, dude. Though for all y'all watching, though, I really didn't mean about to watch this. I really didn't mean for this to happen. So my apologies, brother. In
honor of Goldust, we highlight one of his signature maneuvers in What a Maneuver.
Time for Zack and Ken's
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's What a Maneuver segment. Our superstar highlight this week is Goldust. And one of his signature maneuvers is the sit-down uppercut not unlike Triple H's signature facebuster, but Goldust uses a slightly different variation, more for stunning his opponents rather than any actual damage.
Right.
Now we will demonstrate right here. Now I'm pretending to whip Zack off the ropes. I bend down for a back body drop.
You good, dude?
And that is how you do it.
Okay, dude. Yeah, it's not exactly something you want to do on a daily basis. So, like I've always said, kids, do not try this at home.
Yeah.
My bad, dude.
He's got a wicked right, that's for sure.
Can't help it.
Yeah.
I am the real deal, so.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yes, you
Missing
are.
me? You get the gun show. For all you ladies out there.
All right. So that ends our show for this week. Going to next week's show is officially our official WrestleMania countdown show. We are going to break down the matches for WrestleMania 30. We're going to make our predictions. We're going to decide who takes home the WK championship.
And you're not going to take that away from me, dude.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see. And I will have a very interesting call out on Ken's Den for next week. So stay tuned for that. As well as the Zack Attack.
Oh, I got my plans in store.
and another riveting edition of the Superstar Highlight. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, you have a lovely evening and stay connected.
The Wrestling Connection.